Welcome to Wellness Wednesday Live. I am Bethany Zell. I'm Program Director for Healthy You at Cary Medical Center, and I am joined today by Kate Finnemore, who is our intern in the Public Relations Office at Cary Medical Center. And we are coming to you today to share our 10 favorite outdoor spots in Aroostook County. And this is not an exhaustive list by any stretch of the imagination. There are so many beautiful, amazing spots in Aroostook County that you should be getting out and taking advantage of. I know we're all kind of in this weird, physically distanced kind of world. And so we're really blessed to have a lot of different outdoor opportunities to take advantage of here, right within a short drive of wherever we might live in Aroostook County. And so we wanted to just take some time today on our live to highlight some places that we like to visit, why we like to visit them, and to share with you how you could access some of these cool places. And of course, we know everybody knows more. So if you have others after we share our 10, if you have others that you want to share.
I want to hear them.
You want to hear them? I want to hear them. We definitely need to hear. So again, these are just 10 of our favorite outdoor spots where you can get out and enjoy Aroostook County right now and at any time. So we will start with number one is Aroostook State Park. The cool thing about Aroostook State Park is that it's Maine's first state park ever. In 1938, citizens of Presque Isle actually donated 100 acres of the land that are currently part of Aroostook State Park. And then it became this amazing place where we can all go. Today, the park is actually about 800 acres, thanks to other donations of land that have happened in subsequent years. There's a 30-site campground right there. So those of you looking for a cool little staycation that might be a little closer to home, you've got some great camping options there, tons of hiking trails that can make you feel really super powerful because, you know, some of those hills are a little bit of a climb. Kate, have you ever climbed?
I have. I've done them. Is it the North Peak or the South Peak that's really steep at the end?
I think it's the North Peak.
I remember last time I did it on a day that was way too hot and I completely exhausted myself. It was quite a challenge, but the view I think is worth it at the end.
It absolutely is. And so these trails are maintained year round, not only for hiking, you can use them in the winter for cross-country skiing, snowshoeing. There's swimming options there, fishing, canoeing, you can drop a boat in. They used to have boat rentals as well, but these are all on Echo Lake, which is the lake that Aroostook State Park is on. You can get in there by plugging in 87 State Park Road in Presque Isle. And we're going to list all the addresses for these so that they're a little bit easier to find. There is a day use fee for Aroostook State Park. For Maine residents 65 and older, it's actually free. And children 5 and under are also free. Adult Maine residents, it's a $3 fee to go in and use the park for the day, and then non-residents are $1 more. So it's a great little resource. There's a little fee involved, but it's well worth the pennies that you can spend, and you can spend the entire day. You can go swimming, you can do some boating, some fishing, do some hiking. We used to spend the whole day there as a kid. I remember my family taking us and just having a whole day of it. And I do want to just note that with all of these outdoor spaces, I forgot to mention in the very beginning, there are going to be some limitations in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. So you may find that some of the locations may have some reduced parking to avoid some of the potential crowding issues that might happen in some of the outdoor spaces around Aroostook. You may find that your stays may be limited, like at Aroostook State Park. I'm not sure if they'll just let you go and spend the entire day there. If they have a lot of people wanting to come in and out, they want to kind of keep the traffic flowing. And so they may limit how much time you can spend to make it available to other people later in the day. We do encourage you, if you are going to any of these locations with people outside of your own household, that you continue to follow those physical distancing requirements and guidelines. And because of the physical distancing being done so effectively, you know, throughout Maine, they've been able to keep the parks open because of that. So they're really requesting that you maintain those standards and guidelines, especially in relation to any place that might be staffed, like Aroostook State Park has some staff. So they're asking that you don't get closer than 6 feet to the staff. And of course, they encourage you to stay further than 6 feet from people outside of your own household. Wearing masks. Visitors at all Maine state parks and public areas are required to carry a mask at all times, and be prepared to wear one if you go into public buildings in any of these public areas. So that would include like restroom facilities if they are available, or if there are any kind of informational kiosks or access points in these public places, you would be required to wear one, but you must have one on you to be able to produce it if it's requested.
Yeah.
The other thing is restrooms. Most of them will have some kind of note we'll be sharing about whether bathroom facilities will be available, but just keep in mind that in light of COVID-19 concerns, facilities could be limited. So you might want to just plan accordingly. Be sure to bring your hand sanitizer just in case there's no access to water or hand washing. And again, following the current guidelines, whenever you're watching this video, currently state parks and public land use are available for residents of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey without any kind of quarantine prior to using those facilities. So if you come to go camping from one of those states at any of these places, or come to recreate at any of these parks, you wouldn't need to do the 14-day quarantine or produce testing results from a COVID test. But all other visitors that currently at this time, which is August, what is today, the 12th? And as of today, visitors outside of those few states that I just mentioned are required to follow those quarantine guidelines and testing guidelines. So just, again, be prepared. Most of these are open, you know, sun up to sundown. And so they're kind of the honor system, but just be sure that you kind of get your ducks in a row before showing up at any of these places, because you might be disappointed that you might not be able to access them. So as I mentioned, the very first place to see, place to get outside and recreate on our list is Aroostook State Park. And that's right in Presque Isle, and super accessible for most of central Aroostook County, and just an hour or so drive for the rest of us. So Kate, tell us about the next one.
Our next one is the Aroostook Wildlife Reserve, or Refuge, sorry. And that's in Limestone. You can get to it by going down to 97 Refuge Road in Limestone. And it's like a 4,000 acre span of a refuge. So it's got like all three, it's got all of them. We've got wetlands, we've got grasslands, and we have forests to explore. There's a lot of ponds that you can look at and walk to. The hiking is really easy. There's like a 5-mile network of trails that are like really easy hikes, really accessible for anybody, and all of it's really beautiful and educational too. And that's open from sundown, half hour before sundown to half hour after sunset. And everything is like carry in, carry out. So you want to take care of your own garbage, your own trash. Pets are allowed, but you definitely need to keep them leashed and like accounted for.
Is the information center open currently? Do you know?
I don't think that it is, but there's like a little hutch. It's like you can see the picture of it. You can walk right in, and that has the maps and information that you might need as well. Yeah.
Nice.
And there's kayaking and canoeing and skiing also. So it's open all year round.
Wow.
I had no idea that it was open all year round.
Yeah, I didn't know. We've done some snowshoeing events there in the winter through Healthy U, but I didn't realize there was water access. So that's kind of
you can go kayaking. It's so cool. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right, our third location is another water access point. It's Portage Lake Public Beach in Portage Lake. And I have not been there personally myself, but I've had many friends that go there regularly throughout every summer, because it's got a great swimming area. It's got these covered picnic areas, as you can see. There's a nearby boat launch. Obviously, you see in the picture, there's some porta potty access. So that would be still available even in the pandemic times. Ample parking. You can't quite see it, but behind that little hedge of kind of weeds lining in the front, there's a giant parking lot that runs pretty much the length of this location. So lots of grassy areas to spread out blankets and sunbathe. And then over the back end of it, there is swimming access. So lots of cool things to do. A great way to spend the day. It's a little bit of a drive, but very beautiful, kept very clean, very well maintained. And it's just a great place where families can go and hang out. And there's no fee or anything associated with it. So, of course, we want to just keep track of our litter. And like you mentioned with the nature refuge, carry in, carry out, whatever you bring, you want to be sure to take it back out.
Yeah.
But another great option for how to spend your day.
Yeah. Our next one is Monson Pond in Fort Fairfield. This one has been a big favorite of mine just because it's so grassy and so comfortable. It's a great picnic spot because there's so much room to spread out. There's a lot of space. Even if there are other people there, like you can really feel like you're by yourself, which is really nice and peaceful. I don't personally fish, but I've heard that there's good fishing there, good trout. It's like 8 feet deep and there's 2 spots to put your boat in. It's free, no fees. A lot of the cold water fish if you have your fishing license. It's very kid and dog friendly for sure. I could swim there too. It's usually pretty clean.
Really?
Yeah.
Leeches would be the deciding factor in our
Yeah,
house.
the leech would do it for me too. If I found one on, if I came out with one on me, I don't think I would be going back in.
They've never encountered any leeches there. That's good.
I haven't gotten leashed there. Yeah.
All right. Our next one is one that's often overlooked, at least
I forget about this all the time. And it's not far away.
I know, it's really not. This is the Aroostook River Public Boat Launch in Washburn, and it's right off of the Castle Hill Road in Washburn. So if you just turn onto Castle Hill Road and go over the bridge, you'll see kind of a playground area. There is a playground and a picnic area. They have some outside grills. But then if you go down to the boat launch area, there's this long, really beautiful rocky beach that you can physically distance. There can be many families there and it still feels like an intimate
There's plenty of room for everybody. Yeah.
Yes. And so I love taking my kids there. This is my little one swimming there. And I mean, they can jump up on those pylons from the bridge. We like to hang out under where the bridge covers because it's a shadier spot. The beach is not very shady all by itself, but you can kind of hang out under the bridge area and it's deep enough for the kids to kind of swim around and feel like they're not necessarily just dragging around on the rocks. It's really nice. You do have to watch for the current. As a mom, that gives me a little bit of pause sometimes when I see it's running a little faster. But most of the time, if you stay over to the edge, it doesn't get to be too strong. Obviously, when the water's flowing a little faster, you want to be very careful about swimming there. But then you also have that access to covered picnic table areas and playground equipment. I'm not real sure what's happening with the playground equipment currently with the pandemic. I didn't see, we've been over there a couple times this summer already, and I haven't seen kids playing on the playground equipment, but I don't know if it's because it's closed to the public at this point or if it's because there just weren't kids there playing on it at that time. But super accessible, another great way you can access water, another little swimming hole to consider on those hot days.
That sounds really family friendly.
It really is. And you can, in theory, you can kind of make a day of it, pack a lunch. Yeah. Even if you wanted to grill, you could do that there.
Mm-hmm. Our next one is the solar system. All of the planets are along Route 1. So it will start in Presque Isle at UMPI with the sun. I think that I'm not sure if the sun is accessible right now because it is inside the Science Center at the University of Maine in Presque Isle, but all of the other ones are outdoors and right next to the road. So this is a great opportunity to take a ride, to spend, again, like make a little bit of a day of it. You can go all the way down and get all the way to Pluto, grab some lunch maybe, and then come on back up. Yeah, they're free. And
It's a
they're
cool
all
opportunity too, even as school is
yeah,
opening up and, you know,
exactly.
you might not have your kids in school full time this year. So you might be looking for some of those educational
And take
type
the concept.
activities to do on the
Uh-huh.
days off. So
Yeah, I have some really great memories of, I think it was like 6th or 7th grade. We had to do a report on a planet and we all chose one. And then we went and we did our presentations next to the planets. Like
that's so
they
cool.
got us all on a bus and we did them right next to it. So that could be a fun opportunity for your kiddo if they really like one, to take them to see the scaled model of it.
For
That was
sure.
it put the planets in perspective for me too, in a weird way, because it like makes you realize like how small we are.
And
Because
I think,
because it's a
isn't
scaled
it the
model.
correct ratio? It's like the proper distanced
Yeah,
ratio, I
they're the
think,
right distance apart from each
the
other and
scale.
the right size. Yeah, I think it's a scaled. I think it's scaled.
It's
It's
amazing.
really cool. And then a lot of the planets have been taken down and cleaned and repainted too. So it's definitely worth going to see them all.
Yeah, I know a few of them actually just were refurbished in the last year or
In
so.
the last year,
So,
I remember Jupiter disappearing for a little bit and coming
oh,
back really shiny. So
well, that's cool that you have that as your memory. See, I'm too
yeah.
old. They weren't around when I was growing up here, but it's definitely something that I always point them out when I'm driving downstate with the kids. And
Yeah.
there
Look
it
for all
is,
of them on the way. Yeah.
for sure. Awesome. All right, our next one is Mantle Lake Park. This is another family-friendly place. It's located at 110 Pine Street in Presque Isle. This park consists of, they have 3 tennis courts there. They have playground equipment, as you see in the picture. They've got 2 acres of grassy play area. They've got picnic tables, as you can see, covered. So that's kind of nice if you happen to go out on a day that ends up not being as good as you anticipated. You get caught in the rain, you've got a little shelter there. They do have facilities, indoor facilities, not just porta potty. They have bathroom facilities that are available during daylight hours. They also have a larger picnic shelter area with kitchen facilities. So if you are looking for a place to kind of host some get-togethers in this environment where we don't want to be inside with people outside of our household for extended periods of time, it does offer, you know, an opportunity for you to have a gathering
And
outside.
space too.
Yeah. And so there's on-site parking that can handle up to 50 vehicles. There are networks of about 2.5 miles of paved gravel and wood trails. And one thing that they've done through the pandemic, they actually installed a story walk on those trails. So when you go with the kids and the younger people in your life, you can take them on the walk and kind of read a story as you go along. So it's kind of a neat thing. The trails can be used for hiking, jogging, and biking. So sometimes, you know, we'll just pack up the kids and go with the bikes, and those trails are multi-use and very well maintained. So as you can see on the sign, 6 a.m. to dusk are the park hours, and they don't want you just dropping your kiddos off there unsupervised. So make a family day of it and have fun.
Yeah.
My kids like to feed the ducks too in the
Oh yeah.
pond.
And I learned more recently too that the bread's really not good for ducks. Yeah,
Really?
you're not. It messes up their tummies. They can't like digest it very well. So if you are gonna feed the ducks, it's better to bring like some corn. Like they like frozen corn a lot. They really like lettuce. Like grapes, if you cut them in half, like any of those like more organic materials are a lot better for the ducks than the bread is.
Wow. That's good to
It will
know.
eat the bread. They like it, but it's like not good for them at all.
Oh,
Just a hot tip.
nice. Well, that's good to know. And I definitely need to tell my kids because
Yeah.
they're always looking to bring our bread.
Our next one is the Riverfront Park in Houlton. And that one is open from dawn to dusk as well, and it's free. It's got a relatively new set of trails, I think. I actually haven't been here, but I've seen a lot about it, and it looks really nice. I think there's like a 3-mile network now that is pretty well maintained. You can see the beginning of it on the slide, and it's got that bridge that connects the park to the downtown. So if you want to start like your day or end your day there, that would be great. I think to have a little picnic and then do a little walk around downtown would be really nice. And there's plenty of room.
That bridge is very it's a great little photo op too.
Yeah,
I've
I
seen
think
it like
so.
decked out in Christmas lights, I think,
Mhm.
at
It
some
is.
points.
There are lights on it. And
And I
I
think
like
it
that
would
it's
be
pedestrian
really neat.
only too. It just like feels like a really safe little walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some sculpture and some like historical plaques about the river and the town that you can walk around and read too. Yeah.
Nice.
There's also a picnic area and canopy.
All right, this is in Castle Hill. This is Haystack Mountain. And this trail is pretty easy to find. It's about 4 miles west of Mapleton and about 10 miles east of Ashland, right on Maine 163 in Aroostook County. The trailhead sign marks where you would turn into the parking area, and there's a large gravel parking area about 400 feet off the road, which is really accessible to most vehicles. There is actually a little picnic area, not at that site, but just across and adjacent to it, that has a small picnic canopy where you can picnic afterward or before you take your little hike. The hike up the summit is about 1,100 and the summit is 1,142 feet high. The trail is about a quarter mile up, and it's pretty steep. I gotta say, I did this, you see the picture of me with my kiddos, and I almost had a panic attack that day because my little one was literally like trying to run down that mountain, and I just had terrible, it feels very steep when you're up there. So, use caution, go when you feel equipped to go and do it, but it's got some really beautiful views that you can't really find too many other places in Aroostook County. So there is that, like I said, there's a DOT rest area located at the bottom of the hill, and carry in, carry out, of course. So if you bring picnic things, you can bring them up and have a little picnic at the summit. There's a bench up there. We've brought up like a picnic blanket and spread out and had some picnic lunches up there before. And there's a bulletin board down at the bottom to help you locate the trail and give you some ideas. It gives you other educational information on the history of the site, because it's been a working trail site for a long time. I mean, even back when I was in school, years ago. So lots of fun, and it's a rustic must see. I feel everyone's got to do Haystack at least once in their lives.
One time, yeah. I feel like it's really one of the easiest mountains to get up. Like that experience of finding a summit and coming to the top of it. Our last one, which is my favorite, is Fish River Falls in Fort Kent. This is a recent discovery for me. I had a very hard time finding it. One of our coworkers, Beth, had mentioned it to me last summer, and I had been I tried to go last summer and I couldn't find it, and then this summer I decided that I was going to get myself there, and I did, and it has become, I think, my favorite spot. Like I said, the trailhead is a little bit hard to locate from the road, but on my fourth try I found it, and it's definitely well worth the search. The from parking lot to the falls is about a little more than half a mile of a hike through the woods, and it's pretty well groomed and well marked, so you're not going to get lost on your way there once you find the parking lot. But it's so beautiful, and it is glacier formed, so a lot of the rocks are really smooth and really comfy to sit on. And then there's some jumping points where you can jump in, but it is a rapid, so the water does move very fast. It's at some points when it's its fastest, it's a category 4. So you do want to be careful if you're bringing your kids to make sure that they're not going to jump in or fall in off of a jagged rock. But it's such a private, little hidden gem, I think. There's so much room for everybody to spread out, and you can really find and tuck into your own little spot. And it really feels like you're just alone in the woods, in the most peaceful way. It's a really good place to collect your thoughts and just be for a while, I think. And the water was so warm and refreshing. It was definitely a great swim.
Nice. I'm gonna have to go get up there and check it out because I love,
I think you
discovering
would
these
really like it. Yeah.
little places off the
Off the
trail.
grid. Yeah.
Well, we will post in the comments on this video some of the details, some of the addresses on some of these places. And like we mentioned, we would love to hear some of the places you've been exploring. We know a lot of people are getting really crafty and resourceful in finding some new ways to spend their summer months. But again, we want to encourage you to get outside, get some fresh air, get some physical activity, whatever you're able to do.
Get some sun.
Obviously, go at your own pace. I don't recommend Haystack for beginners necessarily, unless you're feeling pretty confident on your feet. But work up to it, make it a goal, and maybe you'll get there next summer.
Yeah.
But these are just a few of our favorite little gems in Aroostook County, and please share yours with us because we'd love to hear all the cool places being explored.
Yeah, I want to add to my list for this summer.
Yes. So until our next Wellness Wednesday live, we will see you on the Healthy You Facebook page, and I hope you'll join us back in a couple weeks.
Yeah. See you soon.